The opinions expressed are those of the program host and guest and are not those of WSTU. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. The phone lines are open. Call in with your questions and comments at 220-9788. That's 220-WSTU. It's time for Stewart Laser Talk with your host, Dr. Tred J. Rizacker.
I'm 5'10" and 242 pounds.
I always say this is the biggest I'm ever going to be, and I said that like 20 pounds ago.
A third of Americans are obese, another third is overweight.
Obesity is the biggest threat to the health, welfare, and future of this country.
I've always been overweight.
I've got diabetes.
Sleep apnea, heart disease.
Everything's hurting now.
It's a lot easier to lose weight than it is to keep weight off.
This is probably going to be the first generation of children who are going to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents.
18% of our children right now are obese.
It's not only health, it's about survival and well-being of the United States as a nation.
You don't crave broccoli, and our generation has grown up craving a Big Mac.
I want to think that there's something better for me.
Unless we're able to control this epidemic, we're going to have an abundance of chronic disease.
All of us have to be part of the solution to reduce obesity.
The weight of the nation is out of control, but we can fix that.
If we don't now take this as a really urgent national priority, we are all going to pay a really serious price.
Obesity will crush the United States in oblivion.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Tred Rizacker, and I am your host here for the next hour on the Slim Body Laser Spa's Health and Wellness Show. Yay! Everybody's clapping in the audience. I have an audience today. It's 8,000 to 14,000 wonderful Stewart, Martin County residents that love to tune into WSTU radio, and I really, really, truthfully appreciate the support. I couldn't be here if it wasn't for my wonderful listeners. I was over fishing on in an empty lot over on the St. Lucie River, and I had my truck there, and the neighbor came out and he said, "You're the guy on the radio." He says, "You're that Dr. Rizacker, Dr. Tred."
Yeah.
I said, yeah. He goes, I'll tell you. He goes, it's my favorite show, he said. He goes, I listen to talk radio, but I always listen to your show every Tuesday.
There you go.
And I asked him, I said, what is it you like about it? He says, I can't really, it's interesting. I like to hear other people's stories and learn about my body. And it's interesting. So for that reason, I think that's what I'm going to try to accomplish here today. I'm going to give you a little bit of knowledge and try to educate you a little bit about energy and metabolism and why it is so difficult to lose weight. Why, I shouldn't say difficult, but why do so many people fail when they make a decision to do it? You know, it seems almost, abnormally not good that we can't seem to shrink down. And it really has a lot to do with your body and the purpose of your human experience here on this planet. You know, this hurling spaceship that's hurling through the universe is loaded with us humans, and we have certain needs and certain restrictions as to eating and storing of energy and letting go of that stored energy, and food scarcity and food abundance, and how old you are and what your gender is, and are you going to have children? Have you already had children? All these factors come into play when it comes to losing weight and keeping weight and wanting to eat and not wanting to eat. All of these factors are really well established through your ancestors, And it interests me because if you can understand a little bit about why, you can then understand how. If you can understand why you gain weight and why it's so difficult to lose weight and why you have to be careful about calories, and you can understand how to lose weight, how to make better choices, how to live a more healthy, more well-balanced life. Life is great, and life is better when you feel better. right?
Oh, for sure. And a lot of
Am I
people
the
don't
only
even realize the fog they're in until it's lifted. And then it's just like, I can't believe I went through that many years feeling that bad.
Yeah, it's true. And I always, people say, you know, when they're sick, I said, the best thing about being sick is when you feel better.
Yeah.
And you realize, oh my gosh, I was really feeling miserable. So I'm going to go over this today. That's kind of fun facts about fat, about adipose tissue, which is the clinical term for your fat cells, and also this something called glycogen. And now, you know, glycogen is an energy that your body stores for that instant burst, that instant, hey man, I'm walking on the street and it looks like I'm going to get run over by a car and I got to run out of the way. You need energy at that moment. You can't wait for the body to process your fatty tissue, to break down those triglycerides and form glucose. You need energy, bang, now. And that's what glycogen does. So I'm going to talk about that today because glycogen is really what your body is using when you're not eating, when you skip meals. You're really living on glycogen, not fat. And that's important to understand that because most of us, our goal should be to reduce our level of adipose if it's high. And if it's not high, you're good to go. But if it is high and you know it is, then you need to understand this. So my office is located at the 2311 Southeast Ocean Boulevard, and that's right across the street from the Fresh Market. It's called the Slim Body Laser Spa. We've recently rebranded it to Dr. Tread's Slim Body Laser Spa, and it is laser-assisted weight loss. It's very important to understand that, laser-assisted weight loss. It's a laser, low-level laser, FDA cleared, that is safe to apply, and it assists and helps us when it comes to losing weight and trying to get rid of stubborn body fat. That's what this laser does. Without the laser, it's more difficult, it takes longer, and it's less predictable when it comes to losing weight. You don't have the same edge, you don't have the same results when you do it without the laser. But when you include the laser in with your weight loss program, you're just going to get faster results, more consistent, predictable results, and that is nice. You know, that is a wonderful thing to be able to see results within a day or two versus 2 weeks to 3 weeks to 4 weeks to even 6 to 8 to 12 weeks when it comes to eating less and exercising. The laser gives results the same day. So, you know, I guess I'm a little bit of an instant gratification kind of guy. I think we all are.
Yeah.
And I like to say that I'll wait for things, but I'd much rather have it now if I could have a choice.
Oh, yeah. And there's nothing more demoralizing, in my experience anyway, for me, than you limit yourself, you diet, you go to the gym, you're sweating all over the place, you're hurting, you're sore, and then you step on the scale and you've barely lost any weight. You're not seeing any changes in the mirror. You might have gained weight, yeah.
Because you're exercising.
And you don't see that many changes in the mirror for a long time. And it's just, to me, it can be demoralizing. And I went through the Slim Body Laser Spa, and on the very first treatment, I was smaller. I had lost inches on my very first treatment.
Yeah.
And within a week and a half, I had made noticeable changes to my body. And that was only halfway through the program. And it took me months to get anywhere close to those kind of changes through the diet and exercise routine.
Yeah, and he was in his 30s too. And
I was in my 20s.
Yeah, you were in your 20s, and it was a little easier. It's easier when you're in your 20s, and anyone that's in their 50s can attest to that.
And I had time to actually go to the gym for an hour and a half Monday through Friday. I mean, I was a gym rat at that time.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's the laser treat. It targets an area called subcutaneous fat, and you store your calories in two areas. Subcutaneous is the outer fat layer, and the inner fat, visceral fat. Visceral fat, you got to eat less and exercise to lose visceral fat. That's where you carry your weight. The outer layer is subcutaneous, and that's kind of an emergency caloric container that your body uses in case you're going into a long winter, which doesn't seem to happen as much anymore, and that means no food. Your body would bulk up calories on the outside. And when it comes to burning energy and burning weight, that's the last layer to go. If you've been bulking up and you got some extra subcutaneous spillover muffin tops and love handles and extra belly fat, and you decide it's time to start not eating, you don't burn that first. You burn that last. That's the extra layer. And that's why weight loss is so difficult for people, because they have to get through the visceral fat to be able to start changing the outer layer. And that's just the fact the way the body works. So the office is called the Slim Body Laser Spa. I am Dr. Tred Russacker. You can find me online, drtred.com, slimbodylaserspa.com. I have a YouTube channel. I have a Facebook channel, and I have a Twitter. That's right, and not very hard to find. You can go on the phone and ask for Slim Body Laser Spa. It'll give you the phone number. We have an 844 number, 844-DR Slim Body, 844-DR for doctor, and then spell out Slim Body. We're located on East Ocean Boulevard, and for you that are new to the area or maybe not familiar with East Ocean Boulevard, that's the road that goes from the courthouse, Confusion Corner, downtown, straight to the beaches. East Ocean Boulevard. And as you go down East Ocean Boulevard, you go past Memorial Park and you head down past Monterey Road, and then you'll see on the right-hand side is the Fresh Market. It's a nice whole food kind of grocery store. We are right across the street next to the blood bank, next to Carmela's and the Carmela's Pizza Plaza. So yes, many of our clients used to frequent Carmela's all the time, and they still do. They just eat better. They eat smarter. We teach them. You can go into any restaurant and pick the worst menu item and just walk out 3 pounds heavier, or you could, eat very carefully and eat fresh food, clean, lean, green choices and enjoy it just as much as you would that heavy carb load. So we're in the Carmela's Shopping Plaza. I have free consultations, and we are starting to ease up a bit with the wonderful northern contingency is going back up north. I saw the big car carriers out on the Monterey the other day.
Oh, you did?
On East Ocean. So they're loading up the cars, driving them back up north for them, and they get to fly on JetBlue back to New York.
Boy. The Great Migration.
The Great Migration. And so we're actually opening up some spots again.
Good.
Because those Northerners love to do the laser spa, and we love them. So no pun intended. So, yes, we have consultations available. I'm there from 8 to 6, Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 12 to 8. Ashton is my #1 reception, laser tech, gal Friday, as they used to say in offices. She's a phenomenally skilled person, and she's answering the phone and making all the appointments for us right now. And we want to welcome Christina, who is just an absolutely beautiful, intelligent young lady who is here helping us with the laser treatments and being a spa attendant and making sure that all the rooms are prepared and cleaned and ready to go. And, of course, #1, Juan, is the emissary, the boss of all of us, #1, and she handles all of the day-to-day treatments for people and makes sure that the results are being followed through with. And of course, me as the owner, Dr. Tred, I do all the consultations, and I go through the orientation, and I and do my histories and make sure that the person who is sitting across from me is a good candidate, that they understand the procedure, and then I truly believe in my heart that the laser is something that can help them, and that their expectations are in alignment with what the laser can actually provide. Because I think that's the biggest bummer that people get when they go to aesthetic centers, plastic surgeons, even the other competitors, not that we have any, is that their expectations of what they want to have happen is different than what the machine can provide. So we want to make sure that we're coherent and we're at the same, we're equal in that. So testimonials are the lifeblood of anybody's practice. I could tell you all day long it works. But I get paid to do that, and Michael here is my host, and he could tell you all day long it works, but he gets a little pay to be here too. However, I have people that have actually paid me to come into the spa who wish to share their story. And nothing is more truthful than somebody who is doing it because they got results and they want to let you know about it. So I have her on the phone right now. Her name is Jillian. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Yay! Hi, Jillian.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm very good. So are you really a client of mine, of Slim Body?
I am. I am actually here at the place now, and I'm literally on the laser.
And you're not napping? Usually
No,
they go to sleep.
it is relaxing, but, I was asked to
She's
do this.
on
I
the
said,
laser.
Sure.
You could be cutting $1 million real estate deal right now, laying on the laser, losing inches, and your clients would never know, right?
Exactly.
How exciting is that? Yeah, these should be in everybody's offices.
Yeah, seriously, I would love one in my home.
So tell us about yourself. How did you find out about it? Did you struggle with weight or body sculpting, or just tell us a little bit about yourself?
I prior to having my son, he's now 6 years old. I was actually a bodybuilder. So, but I was always one of those women, curvy, had a little meat on her, had always like a little pot belly.
Well, I don't know about the pot belly, but we like curves.
And
I bet it wasn't really a pot belly.
Yeah,
I had a pot belly.
And but once I started bodybuilding, that helped. But then I had my son, and it was struggled a lot to get the body fat off after having him. The baby fat.
Correct.
And after 6 years,
your baby fat.
Yeah,
from
exactly.
the baby.
After 6 years, it was hard to use that excuse anymore, and I even went back to my bodybuilding diet, and with my career in real estate, it was hard to exercise that often, but I still was exercising. I tried different diets. I was vegan even at one point, and I would just go up and down with my weight, but never got to where I was fully satisfied. And I heard about your company maybe about 6 months ago, and and
I remember.
Yeah, I wasn't totally convinced at first,
Right.
And was skeptical.
Kind of came in, dibbled out, asked about it. Tell us at all the shows we go to, right?
Yep, exactly. So then finally, it was probably a week before I originally came in. I saw you guys at another show, and I don't know what it was you said, but there was something you had said that made me go, let me go to the consultation, at least hear what you have to say. And
I think it was no charge for the consultation.
Maybe that was it. Maybe
it usually works for most of them out there.
So at the consultation was really when I understood, and I guess because I understand health and the body, doing my bodybuilding and just being a healthy person in general with the way I was eating. I understood it right away, the two different layers of fat. That's what got me, is when I realized it is going to be virtually impossible, or going to take many more years of, killing myself practically to get rid of that extra layer of fat that you can help with very quickly, in conjunction, of course, with the diet and exercise, which, there's no magic pill. I learned that, of course, and if you think there is out there, there's no such thing. So,
yeah, tell me where I could get it.
Right, exactly.
I want to own the rights to that one.
So I just finished my 9th session.
Wow,
and
went fast.
I lost
I
8
remember.
inches total and 5 pounds. Yep.
Oh, I bet you're surprised.
Yeah. I'm actually wearing a dress today that I wouldn't have worn 3 weeks ago. So I was like, I look, feel a little hotter, feel a little sexier today, and yeah.
Well, that's easy for you.
Yeah.
That's great. You're going to do really. It'll help you a lot. You're an outstanding person. You're outgoing. You have a desire for success in all areas of your life. I know you. And isn't it nice to feel different inside, that you're more confident? It's a shame that we should be so vain.
I know.
Or so concerned, but it really makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Well,
especially
right?
Women or men. Obviously I'm not a man, so I don't know how men think, but I know a lot of women. When we looked a certain way when we were a little younger, and now we're a certain way now, it kind of hits your self-esteem a little bit. When you know you can look a certain way, and you struggle and you just eventually you beat yourself up, and that's not a good way to live. You want to feel good inside and out. It's both, and
And
I even have more energy. That's the other thing.
That's
I'm
right.
Like, I have
and
so
you're
much energy.
You're the kind of the front person for what you do. I mean, you're the one that people see and meet, and you go and do your presentations, and I think it's great. You know, I've achieved a lot of success as a chiropractor many times in the past, and nothing has made me feel as good as losing that weight.
Yep.
And when I look at myself and people see me and they remind, and it's like, because that was something that had eluded me for a long time too. I was not able to, I just didn't, wasn't able to eat and diet long enough to change my body shape, I guess. And the laser helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Well, that's great, Jillian. Wonderful.
Yep.
So, well, thank you so much. And I know your mom's coming in too. How's she doing?
Yeah, she's doing good.
She's doing good too.
I believe she, at least the last time I spoke to her, I think she had lost about 3 pounds and maybe 5 or 6 inches, something like
right.
that.
And she's a thin person.
Yeah.
Right.
She's naturally
So
a
3 pounds
lady.
to her is like 10 pounds to somebody else.
Right. Yeah, she doesn't have too much to lose. So,
no, but it changed her, that midsection. That I call it. I'm going to coin this term. It's called the thickening.
Yeah.
The thickening. Right?
Yeah, because she had skinny arms, skinny legs.
Yeah,
and
it just next thing you're getting thick. I'm noticing I'm getting thick. I'm losing my curve. I don't, and my silhouette looks more like a young boy than a girl now. You're like, oh no.
Yep, exactly. And that happens. I've noticed too as you get a little older.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why there's so many other procedures out there, but we really like the Slim Body because it's the safest, it's non-invasive, and it actually makes you healthy. Instead of just removing tissue.
I love it. Like I lit here and I can take a nap. It just feels warm on my body, and
I
actually like it. It's almost kind of like not a massage per se, but it's relaxing.
It's a low, that laser energy is in China they call it the golden light, and it's used when you take that same wavelength and that same energy and you put it into a small point like an acupuncture point. Mm-hmm. That's what they use to stop smoking, for endorphin release. It's that energy, and it has an incredible healing value. I've been using lasers for a long time for pain relief, and I have treated a knee with the red light and treated the wrong knee, and the other knee got better.
Wow.
On the other side of the body.
Huh.
Now, it's not surgery where you remove a wrong knee. It wasn't like that kind of mistake, but you have both the knees there, and it changes the body's ability to function in very unusually beneficial ways, and that's why you're so relaxed during it, and that reduces stress, and endorphins come up, and cortisol goes down, and we want to feed or breed. That's what it's called. The feed or breed.
Right.
Sleep, eat, get close to someone we love. That's the 2 nervous systems: fight or flight, run, hide, fight, or the other one. So that's great. Thank you, Jillian.
Yeah,
Thank you
welcome.
so much. I'm so pleased to hear you, and I know exactly who you are once you started telling me who you were.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you so much, Jillian.
I'll see you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We've had a lot of testimonials over the years, and I think that's the first time where somebody was actually on the laser when they called in.
Yeah, that's how. Oh, it's such pain. I'm suffering. Ow, ow. They're not doing anything. In fact, it's like, ooh. Yeah, I'm sorry that it's not more painful. I'm sorry you don't have to lose tissue. I'm sorry you don't have to have your blood checked afterwards. I mean, it's people relate suffering, no pain, no gain, And that's just not true with Slim Body. This laser is non-invasive, and it's a healing light, and it's very gentle, and it's a very consistent process. And to think you can lose 8 inches. So let's, I do know a little bit about her body type, her posture, because we measured her. And so what she's saying is that we measured 3 spots: the belly button, an inch above, and an inch below. Okay. So 8 inches, if you divide it by 3, that's the girth reduction. So let's just round it out to say if it was 9 inches, that would be 3 inches in girth. So she lost 2 7/8 inches in 3 spots in 3 weeks around her waist. That's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, in circumference, in girth. So, I mean, I lost 12 inches, which is 4 inches in girth in 3 weeks, actually in 4 weeks. And, that's a lot. I went from a 40 pant size to a 36 waist in 4 weeks. So she just dropped almost 3 inches, around her midsection in less than 3 weeks.
I mean, you're not going to get that anywhere else.
It's impossible. Yeah, no,
not in that time
not
frame.
even a pair of Spanx. Shapewear, they call it. I had to look up that term. What the heck is shapewear?
Yeah, well, it's like a
it's
corset.
a girdle. It's a corset. It's the latest one. The more they'll always be out there. Women always want to push stuff in and tighten things and
they've got them
boost
for men
up
too.
this and yep. There's nothing wrong with that. It's safer than surgery. And so, anyway, thank you so much for that testimony, Jillian. If you're interested in a consultation with me, Dr. Tread, you'd like to come in and see the laser and feel it and get a demonstration and look at our before and after pictures, and you can probably even talk to some of the clients that are coming through there. It's pretty crowded. I looked at Dunkin' Donuts, the line in Dunkin' Donuts, and in my office had almost the same amount of cars there the other morning.
Oh, there you go.
I thought, wow, who would have ever thought it'd be that popular right there on East Ocean Boulevard. So it's 772-223-5885. It's Slim Body Laser Spa. We have free consultation and evaluations, no obligation at all to become a client. We just want to educate you, teach you about your body. You'll get some nice tips about weight loss and health and wellness at the same time. You just got to check it out. It's a jewel here in South Florida that we're here in South Florida. When people go back up north and they get results at the Slim Body and they're involved in the alumni program, you see this look on them and like, what do I do up north? I don't know where. Is there any place I can do this? I don't want, I'm liking the results. It's helping me. And I cannot recommend them anywhere because it's not a procedure that's that's done the same way at every office. I've developed these protocols with my staff and my experience. So what I do is very proprietary to me, to my office. Now, yes, you can find machines in different offices. The Lapex BCS is the body contouring system that we use. You can find that at other places, but they're not including whole body vibration. They're not including detoxification. They're not helping people with nutrition and the reassurance that comes with it. The plans are sometimes not enough to really achieve a result. They're trying to just get a short-term result, and and that's really where we've excelled at the Slim Body. We've really, really worked up a great package and a plan to get you results. All right, so we're at the half hour here. We're going to take a little break, and then when I come back, I am going to go over some great tips and facts about body fat. And, there's a myth out there. There's a huge lie which is being promoted that all you have to do is change your weight. Like if you drop weight, that you're a healthier person in some way. And that's just not true. It's more than just losing weight on the scale, and of course, losing weight is one part of being healthy. But if that's the only parameter you're using, if that's the only tool you have is a scale, and you could be not really healthy as you think you are because of that. And it really has to do with body fat percentages versus lean muscle mass, how much muscle tone you have in comparison to your body fat. And that's what I'm going to go over this next half hour. I'm going to explain that exactly to you. So now at your weight loss center or the program that you're in, or maybe you're doing it at home, I'm going to give you some tips that will help you to improve your health, your stamina, and improve your metabolism so you can burn more energy, burn more fat, and store less fat during your weight loss program just by following like 5 simple tips. I mean, it's more than one tip, but 5 is not more than you can handle. So when we come back, we're going to go over that.
Now back to Stuart Laser Talk here on WSTU 1450. And back to your host, Dr. Tred J. Rizacker.
Hey, welcome back. I'm so glad you decided to hang in there for the last half hour. We're going to talk about you. That's what we're going to talk about, you. What is more interesting than me, than yourself, right? I want to know everything about me. I want to know how it works. I could care less about anything else other than if it's in my life, right? And I think that most people are kind of the same way. So we're going to talk about today is you and how your body, just some of the tips and facts and things I've learned in this as a chiropractor for 30 years, natural health care. I'm very interested in health and happiness and success in my patients and in myself. Of course, I want to be healthy. I want to achieve success as I go through life and work and in my relationships with people. And, all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, I've always known, but it's become much more obvious that I have to take care of my health if I'm going to enjoy my wealth, enjoy my life. It is such a shame to work so many years and sacrifice so much of your health to get your wealth, and then to spend your wealth to get your health. And the real tragedy in that analogy is most of the time, when you do decide that you want to be healthy and you're older and you've gotten sick, you really can't achieve health anymore. It's really, it's out of reach. It's gone too far. And that's a shame. And, there's a mistaken myth, a belief that, that modern medicine will somehow save me from being an idiot. From not taking care of my health. And I'm not talking about being stupid here. I'm talking, about not being ignorant, but being, an idiot and doing things and having habits such as, all the habits. I'm not going to point them out, which can lead you to have health problems in the future. And you think to yourself, well, I have good insurance. I have great Blue Cross and Blue Shield. It's like the person that drinks himself into a stupor until he has to go to the hospital, and he says, I'll just go into treatment, and I'll get sober there. They'll help me. Or I'll keep on eating and getting heavier and heavier, and soon I'll just go to a weight loss center, I'll drop that weight, and I'll be okay. How many people believe that? I can tell you, your body changes when you get heavy. If you start to put on extra calories and you keep it on for more than a year or two, it doesn't just come back. You change your whole hormonal profile changes. The same effort it took to stay fit and to be healthy 10 years before is now 30% harder when you try to lose that weight. And your body gets permanently changed as a result of that extra weight. Your skin gets stretched out so it doesn't come back to be strong and supple again. And also your caloric set point, your basal metabolic rate, which is your resting caloric intake, which dictates how many calories we need to maintain our weight and our base, it changes when you get heavy. And then when you lose weight, that stays the same. That set point stays as if you were a fat person and you want to keep eating. And that's why so many people fail. So you do not want to wait and then think that you can bust a move and get this weight off. You need to start today. You got something to say there, Mike? You thinking about something? I can see you're deep in thought. You flipped on your mic.
I was just ready and standing by, listening.
Okay.
Learning.
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
How we kind of throw caution to the wind, thinking, well, I'll lose it next week, or I'm waiting for New Year's.
Oh yeah,
New Year's resolution to lose the weight. I'm in between jobs right now, so I had a loss, so I'm eating a lot. But I know that once this is over, I'll get back on this track and get the weight off.
Yeah, no, it happens all the time. People sit there and go, "Well, I'll start on Monday," or I had a really bad day today. I don't want to go home and eat my salad. I'm just going to order a pizza and we'll start again tomorrow. And people are constantly putting off, especially when it's something like eating healthier, exercising, or doing anything to take care of themselves, really.
And it's not the same as putting off cleaning your closet.
No.
Okay, let's be realistic. If you don't clean your closet, 10 years later, it's still going to be exact same dirty.
Right.
And when you clean it, it's going to be okay. Your body's different. I really want to be clear on that, people. When you make lifestyle changes which are not health-based, such as, poisoning your body with alcohol or cigarettes or toxic, unhealthy food, you know what that is. Processed foods, you are creating an environment and a physical body which is becoming sickened, and it doesn't necessarily snap back. It's not like a closet that you hadn't cleaned. And this is something which makes changes to your bloodstream. It makes changes to your pancreas. Your body's, your arteries will start to fill up with more junk, plaque and gooky material because of the fatty foods and not eating properly. The bones get weaker and you leach calcium, and all of these things happen from not eating and from smoking and taking poisons. And all of a sudden, you're 45, 50 years old and you're like, all right, I'm done. I'm sorry. I have kids now and my wife. I don't like not feeling well. And it's like, wait a minute. I'm still suffering. I'm sick. what do you mean my pressure's elevated? Why would I have pressure? Well, give me some pills for it. I don't know why it's up, but maybe it's the past. Maybe the cholesterol medication you're on, the statin drugs, and the fact that your blood sugar is high are things that you did when you were younger. And I'm talking to adults here because most of our audience is older. But you have your grandkids out there and the young people, and you could help teach them this. Do not wait. Do it now. Today is the day. There's no guarantees for tomorrow. I was out in the boat this weekend, and it was a beautiful day. We were going out through the ocean, and I told my friend, I said, enjoy it. You don't know if tomorrow's even a guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. So enjoy today. Take care of your health today. So, one of the parameters of really good health when it comes to weight and when it comes to your body's ability to bounce back from being sick, your body's ability to work without suffering, to have children, to have relationships, has a lot to do with your muscle tone, okay, and the food you eat. Let's get down to basics.
Okay.
You have to eat food to make energy for your body, right?
Yes.
If we don't eat, we waste away.
Correct.
Now, the car doesn't do that. My bed, the couch here doesn't waste away because it doesn't get fed. It's inanimate. It doesn't have a life cycle. But humans and plants and animals and birds and fish, we all have this same need to take in energy to help our bodies to live and to prosper and to go through whatever our life cycle is. We have to take in energy. And that's really important to understand that. So the reason why you eat is to put in energy so your body can make energy and you can live. And we eat for a lot of reasons that have nothing to do with that. So that would be the first tip. Eat to build tissue. Eat for health. Eat food that has nutrients. Eat things which build protein base so you can build muscle strength. Eat foods that help to eliminate toxins. Do you know there's a lot of food you eat that eliminate poisons? A good constitution, if you're a drinker, if you like alcohol, is to make sure you eat a big meal after, make sure you eat meals because that meal helps push the alcohol through the body. If you stop eating and you're just drinking and eating and not eating, you can get very sick as someone who drinks alcohol. So, watermelons and fruits and melons and apples and pears, these are fruits which have a great eliminative effect. Things with fiber eliminate toxins. So you want to make sure you have a diet that's high in fiber and low in sugar for the most part, because sugar in excess can cause a lot of health problems. However, sugar that's naturally based, that comes from fruit and is still in the fruit, not been processed, but it's in the fruit because you're eating raw fruit, that sugar is easily digested by your body. Where sugar becomes a problem, fruit sugar, is when it's been it's made into juice, or it's been it's been concentrated through processing to have more sugar than it would normally occur. And they also remove all the good parts, the fiber. So that's why fruit sugar can be a problem. You really can't go wrong with a plant-based diet. So did you know, Michael, that your life is because of the sun, the energy from the sun, the photons?
Okay.
Have you ever heard about it? You ever studied that?
I mean, have I studied it?
Photosynthesis.
Well, I remember hearing that word in school.
And radiant energy. And, so it's very interesting that, the main energy and this has to do with how we store energy, the form of glycogen. But what happens is our energy that our body uses is in the form of glucose.
Okay.
Glucose is what we call blood sugar. But glucose also occurs in certain plants and certain things, has glucose already in it. But for the most part, food we eat has to be digested, assimilated by us, and then forms glucose. We make it into glucose is so important to your body that your body can make it. That's how important it is. If you don't get it from your food, your body can make it from fat, from proteins, and from sugars.
Okay.
That's how important glucose is. And glucose is the energy packet which makes your body. And it's a byproduct of starch.
Huh.
Starch is what plants contain. And starch is made by the plant in what we call photosynthesis. So, our Earth was full of plants at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And the sun's energy, the photonic energy, went down into the plant. And the plant, through photosynthesis, forms starches, okay? And that starch has the energy of the sun locked up inside of it in the form of ATP, in the form of these energy molecules. And it's a sugar. And then what happens is those plants live off, they get the energy from the sun and, of course, the nutrients from the soil. And then we eat those plants, right? And when we eat the plant, we're eating the starches within the plant. And those starches are broken down by the body, and they form glucose. So you're eating that. And the plants, other animals that eat the plants, such as fish and rabbits and beef and all the things that we eat, they assimilate and digest those starches, and it forms proteins. And then when we eat that animal, that protein is broken back down into its basic, which is glucose. It's this cycle. It's this transmutation of energy, and it all came from the sun.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing how it all starts with that big ball of fire.
Yeah, without that ball, we're toast. We're done. We're perished. We have no way of making energy. So what happens is when you eat food, as long as you're exercising and you're burning calories in relation to how much you're eating, your health is very normal, and your weight and your muscle tone stays balanced. You should have a healthy muscle tone is 80% of your weight should be muscle, 20% should be fat. So it's 80-20, 80% muscle, 20% fat. And the muscle is a very important for your life in order for you to move through the earth, to walk, to run, to climb, to hug, to kiss, to hunt, to find food. You need muscles. Muscles are what get you through the world. They help move you. They also store energy. Muscles are a big store of instant energy in the form of glycogen. So when your body eats food and it digests the glucose, any extra glucose is brought by the liver, it's called glycogenesis, and it makes glycogen, and that glycogen is stored in the liver, and it's also stored in the muscles. And glycogen is mainly a polysaccharide, which is a sugar of glucose. It forms an energy storage in humans, animals, fungi, and bacteria. So glycogen is the storage form of glucose in the body. It's important to understand that. So what happens is glycogen functions as one of two forms of long-term energy reserves, with the other form being triglycerides, which is stored in adipose tissue or body fat, And in humans, glycogen is made and stored primarily in the cells of the liver and the skeletal muscle. So triglyceride is stored in your body fat, and glycogen is stored in the liver and the skeletal muscle. Your liver holds glycogen, makes up 5 to 6% of a liver's fresh weight of an adult, and that's roughly 100 to 120 grams of glycogen is stored within your liver right now. In your skeletal muscle, glycogen is found in low concentration, so about 2% of your muscle mass is glycogen. The amount of glycogen stored in your body, particularly within the muscles and liver, mostly depends on your physical training, your basal metabolic rate, and your eating habits. Small amounts of glycogen are also found in other tissues and cells, including kidneys and red blood cells. So it is really important to understand that when you need energy quick, right now, your body uses glycogen for that. It does not burn fat.
Right.
Okay? So your day-to-day, I'm going to run the bridge right now. I'm going to run this bridge. You're burning glycogen. Now, and then you're going to eat food and replace those calories. And as long as you don't eat fatty foods and you're eventually going to start to lean out. You'll eventually start to burn those fatty layers, but it's a very slow process. Fat is not the first thing that you burn when you start to exercise. It's glycogen. And, fat, triglyceride, is a very complex molecule which is stored within these containers called adipose cells. So when you need energy from fat, it's a very slow process for the body to release the hormones. One of them is called glucagon, which is the hormone which releases fat, and that causes the fatty acids to go into the bloodstream, and then they're picked up by the lymphatic system, go into the liver. Combined with oxygen, it forms glucose, and that raises your blood sugar. And that could be a 2 to 3 minute process. What if you need? So you can't use that as a burst of energy. That's what glycogen is for, and it's stored in your liver and your muscles. So the second rule here, besides the fact that you need to eat for health and for energy, the second rule is if you are skipping meals and you're going more than 2 or 3 hours without eating and you're hungry, you're burning muscle and glycogen, not fat. For the most part, that's the truth. Of course, there's situations that come into play where you do burn fat, but that's only after long-term starvation do you start burning these fatty tissue. Glycogen is the first thing that goes. And then so you say, well, I made it to lunch. I skipped lunch and now it's dinner and I'm hungry. And in fact, I'm really hungry. And then the third rule is that you don't want to do is you don't want to eat a lot late at night. Eating your biggest meal when you're going to be the most sedentary is a foolish thing to do. You're going to store fat when you do that. So that would be the third rule. Do not eat heavy meals at night. Eat your heavier meals at breakfast and at lunch. Make sure that you eat snacks between lunch and breakfast, and between lunch and dinner, you want to make sure that you got some protein source. Now, your diet, number 4, your diet should consist of at least 50% protein. Protein is key. Protein gives you strength. Protein builds other proteins. It gives you a quick release of energy, and it's slow. It raises your blood sugar very, very slowly, and that's what you want. You don't want your blood sugar to go up fast. In fact, they just had an article in the New York Times, and obviously this is not fake news. This is February 7th, 2018, and it says here, lift weights, eat more protein, especially if you're over 40 years old. People who would like to become physically stronger should start with weight training and add protein to their diets, according to a comprehensive scientific review of research. The review finds that eating more protein well past the amounts currently recommended can significantly augment the effects of lifting weights, especially for people over the age of 40. On the other hand, any form of protein is likely to be effective, not just high-protein shakes and supplements. Beef, chicken, yogurt, and even protein from vegetable sources such as peas, spinach, dark leafy vegetables could help us to build larger and stronger muscles. So, number 4 is you got to eat that, you got to increase your protein intake. Your body is mainly protein and fat and water. There's no carbohydrate in your body that I'm aware of unless you have a nasty yeast infection nobody knows about. That would be the only carbohydrate you would have. So that's a joke for you girls, for you men out there with a yeast problem. So you need more protein. Protein builds muscle strength. Protein gives you energy, and it's important, and especially as you're getting older. So it just makes sense that when we lift weights, we stress the muscles, and it causes minute damage to muscle tissue, which then makes new proteins to heal. Muscles will also readily turn to and slurp up any bonus proteins floating around in the bloodstream. Knowing this, bodybuilders have for a long time swallowed large amounts of protein-rich shakes after workouts in expectation of adding greater bulk to their muscles than just lifting alone. But the advantages of added dietary protein for the rest of us have been less clear. I can tell you it's really, really important to have protein. So that's your number 4. Number 5 is you got to cut out sugar. You just got to stay away from sugar. Sugar is not good for you. Table sugar, sucrose, in the form of high fructose corn syrups, anything which has high levels of sugar, you really got to cut it out if you want to lose weight, people. There's nothing good about and most of the sugar calories are found in drinks, in liquid. I was Easter Sunday. I was at my family's house. I don't want to be too specific. Okay. But they had these Apple and Eve fruit juices, these big gallons of juice.
Okay.
And of course, I pick it up. It's 28 grams of sugar in a cup. 28 grams. That is an enormous amount of sugar. So what that means is if you take 28 and divide it in half, that's 14 teaspoons of sugar in that 1 cup of juice.
It's amazing how much sugar is in juice.
So I told her, why don't you water it down? Why don't you cut it in half? So that's what I did. I took my cup and I weighed it in half, and it was fine. Didn't even notice it wasn't that sweet. That's not okay. So you got to watch out for that sugar, all right? If you're interested in learning more about weight and health and glycogen and the importance of protein, and you want to try the laser, give us a call at Slim Body Laser Spa, 772-223-5885. We're definitely available online. You go to the contact page. We'll call you back. We'll set up an appointment through the internet if you'd like. You can come into the spa yourself, get in your car, get on your bicycle, ride down, say hi to us. We have openings available, free consultations at the Slim Body Laser Spa. Hey, and I'll see you next week, okay? Thank you so much and enjoy this beautiful weather.